G'day everybody, it's Dan here at Plays with Dan with our latest homework sheet for the Continuing Plus level. This is for our Swiss ball class for this term, and this is your homework sheet with the Swiss ball. So make sure you have, very conveniently positioned, your cheat sheet with you. So there is another video coming out this week, which is the non-Swiss ball version of the class, but this one here is the Swiss ball. So what you want to do is set up your space with your Swiss ball and either have a mat or some clear area near a wall, because we will be using the wall just like we do in the class to help us with some of the exercises. Okay, so starting off, you're going to have your feet just a hand width apart and just rest your hands on top of your knees there. We're going to start off with the little pelvic clocks. Okay, so this is just to help you start to move your pelvis after your day. We're going to go, we'll do 5 or 6 in each direction. And the idea here is that you're trying to do, it's almost like slow motion hula hoop action, okay? And trying to keep the upper body as stable as possible. All the action is happening below the rib cage. So sometimes I like to think about being in a body of water and being like that duck on the pond, where it's very stable above the water, so up to rib cage, and below is where everything is happening. Okay, and after 5 or 6 each way, then you're going to position yourself down on the floor with your feet on the Swiss ball. Now you have a couple of options here. You can have the Swiss ball up against the wall to remove one of those planes of motion, or you're going to have the Swiss ball away from the wall and make it a little bit tougher. Whatever you choose, make sure the knees are not directly over the hips, so it's just a little bit away, so it's not quite 90 degrees. Hopefully you can see that with the side-on angle there. Inhale to prepare, and now as we breathe, we're going to pelvic curl up. Pause at the top there, inhale, and exhale, rolling it back down. So this is your second exercise. This is your pelvic curls with your feet on the Swiss ball. Inhale and exhale. So we're using the breath just to make sure that we're going at a good tempo. We're not speeding through it. And you're allowing the back of the legs to do some work. We're trying to strengthen up those hip extensors, asking them to do something a bit different. Let's do 2 more. Curling up and back down, and curling up and back down. Good. Okay. Then from there, we're going to do the supine spine twist. So we've mixed up the order a little bit, just to give you something a bit different. Okay, hands directly above the body. You're inhaling to tip. Exhale, bring it back to the center. So the idea here is that you're trying to move as far as you can, side to side, without the Swiss ball moving. So the goal here is to try and stabilize that Swiss ball, make it nice and still, and as a consequence, the arms, head and shoulders should be very stable. And again, just like our pelvic clocks, all the action is happening below the rib cage. All the movement is happening below the rib cage. We're trying to control that movement. Certainly explore your range of motion, but just take care that one of my goals for you is to try and be aware of whether or not the shoulders are moving. We'll do 1 more each way. Exhale to center, inhale to tip, and exhale to center. Okay, now the next sequence is all about your abdominals. What we're going to get you to do is from this pelvic curl position, this is where we fiddle around a bit, you're going to extend back. And ideally, you should have enough room on your mat there that the feet are on top of the Swiss ball and the heels are pressing downwards, okay? What I don't want you to do is I don't want you to be in a position where it's the calves on the Swiss ball like this and the feet are in the air. The feet are going to be on the Swiss ball. Okay, so you come back as far as you need to with that. The goal here is now to try and keep the pelvis still as we go through our chest lifts, hulas and hundreds. Inhale to prepare, exhale to chest lift. Inhale to lower back down. Exhale. Inhale back down. So again, the breathing is just to help you moderate the speed at which you're going and gives you something to focus on. You want that pelvis to be very still. Two more. Hold that last one there, ready for hula, going 5 each way. Exhale to turn. Keeping one eye on that Swiss ball, making sure it's staying stable. 2, 2. Last one. And last one. Good. And rest sitting down. Moving on to the hundreds now. Arms very straight, extending up towards the ceiling. Again, we want the Swiss ball to stay still so it's not bouncing. I want you to push down, activate the back of the legs a little bit, squeeze the legs together. You're in the V position. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, coming forwards, and off you go. Last breath. And rest it down. Good. Okay, so from there, we now have the standing leg work, the 3 positions. We're going to work 3 positions with the standing leg work. So first of all, make sure that you're in an upright state and you're not leaning into the Swiss ball to start off with, okay? Because what we need you to do is be in this position so that we can achieve the correct placement when we actually do the work. Okay, so you're going to take a step forwards, have that moment of faith, leap of faith that your Swiss ball can hold you now. And we're going to do, what have I given you? I've given you 8 to 10. So you can decide if you're feeling really sprightly today, do 10. If you're not and you need a little bit less work, do 8. Okay, so we've got 3 positions. You're going to inhale to bend, exhale to push up. Now as you're going up and down, hopefully you can see that the upper body is staying fairly stable and straight. We want the spine to remain erect. We are trying to load the legs. And as you push away, I want you to push through the heels to try and get the back of the legs working. 2 more. Good. Okay, take a half step back. And this is where we go up onto the second position, which is our parallel toes. Keeping all 5 toes in control and on the mat. and pressing up. Just checking the mirror beside us here, just to make sure that my spine is staying nice and tall. We'll do 2 more. Heels together. So we're now got the V position. This is our 3rd position. After a week of doing these in the studio, I am a little bit tired. I feel the legs. I've done a fair bit of work this week, which is fine. Two more. Oof. Last one. And resting it down. So they're the 3 positions there. So next up, we have some lovely back extension work. With the back extension, I want you to set yourself up in that squat frog position that we talked about in the class. The heels are together, toes apart. I just like this setup because in the class you're also learning the front supports and things like that, and this setup comes back time and time again. So, and it also means that when you come to do your back extension, I feel, and you might feel it as well, is that you're quite secure on the Swiss ball, okay? So you're not having to worry too much about falling off, okay? So, position yourself, you push down on that Swiss ball, bring your belly on top of the ball, near the hands, but not on the hands, okay? So near the hands with the belly, and then you come forwards onto all fours, reposition the feet back to the wall, and you're good to go. Okay, so heels are together in our V position again. Inhale to lengthen out, exhale back down. So in this one, if you're feeling the need to, explore that range of motion, go for it. So if you want to come up into more of a full swan sort of position, do it. Here I'm thinking that's where I need to be today. Up, 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 and down. So next up is the swimming arms. Okay, so it's going to use the back extension and do the arm motion from swimming that we've done in the mat work setting before. Do it slowly so you don't wobble off the ball. Okay, so you're going to come up to a back extension. Extend the arms out and arms go up and down. So it's a held position. Everything's working at stabilizing. Two more breaths. Last one. And rest it down. Good stuff. Okay. Final 2 exercises are nice ones to finish off. Just help round out everything we've done with our work. So we have the back support. You're going to walk out till your head and shoulders are on the ball. Support the head. You're going to lower the hips down towards the floor. Explore that space. So it's a good extension for the lower back. Exhale, squeeze up. It's an inhale to lower down. You could really explore that space. Exhale, squeeze it up. Depending on your body dimensions, you may be able to get the bottom onto the floor, that's cool. Exhale, coming up. Exhale, coming up one more time. Once you're up for that final one, keep your hands back here and walk up. Back to your upright position. And then to finish off, we're going to do some balance work. It's a nice simple exercise, but it brings you back into your body. Okay, hands back behind the head, and you're going to roll the ball away and draw it in, lifting the heel up in the air. And roll it away and draw it in. It's one of those cheeky little simple exercises that the more you do, the more focused you become on how your balance is going, left to right. And if you think back to that hip and pelvis class we did just a couple of weeks ago, where we had that extension, but the leg was in the air. Okay, this is it. This is it right now. So you see it repeats again. Okay, last one. Good. Okay, so let's do the other side. So those skills, because really that's what we do, those skills about extending the leg and flexing it back in, this is it, right? But here, the focus is more on the balance portion rather than the strength. Okay. And you'll see, the more classes you do, you see the patterns. Okay. The more patterns just pop up again and again. Okay. They're the same repeating skills. Okay. But the challenge is taking those skills into different environments. Upright, lying down, on your tummy, on your side, that sort of stuff, right? One more time. I've totally lost count. And rested down. So there you go. That's the continuing plus level homework sheet that includes the Swiss ball for our Swiss ball term. Keep an eye out for the non-Swiss ball version of the class in the next couple of days, and good luck with your practice. See you in the studio soon.